All right, welcome. That was a great intro song. Wow, I'm still dancing. Just kidding. We recorded this separate from the intro. You guys already know. So today I'm nervous because I messed up the last time. I messed up. We have Cole, Boeve.
Pretty close.
I'll get it. I don't speak French. Where's that from, Cole?
It's from the Netherlands, actually. Yeah, it's last time I traveled through Europe, I ended up flying from Germany to Amsterdam, and there's this tall Dutch guy that was.
I was gonna say, aren't most Dutch people tall?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm a hobbit. So this dude's like standing over me. He's like, "How do you say your last name?" And I was like, "I don't know, Boeve. You know, it kind of depends on the fan." He goes, "Bofa," and I'm like, "Okay,
Bofa.
And I'm like, "All right, man. What? This is a very dangerous name to have in the Netherlands." And I was like, "Oh shit. Like, should I not be here?" And then I figured it out. It actually means scoundrel, or like it's
really
like a criminal or something like that in the Netherlands. So I don't know. Kind of still makes sense.
Damn.
So yeah, it was just really intimidating. Have a dude.
So like, if it was English, you'd be like Cole, thief, Cole
Scoundrel.
Cole Scoundrel. That's a good name.
Yeah,
I dig that. I wish my last name was like what is that? A noun, a non-name noun, a non-person noun.
Yeah,
like a thing noun.
Yeah, a thing noun.
I want a thing noun name, like Sam Truck.
Sam Truck.
How cool would Sam Truck be? Oh man, I'm glad you're back. I'm sorry about the last podcast.
No, it's all good.
We'll just release this one. We'll just delete that one.
All right.
Pretend it never happened.
I just told myself that it went so well the first time, you had to have me back by popular demand so quickly.
That is the actual truth. Dude, so since the last time you've been on here, you won Comedian of the Century. What was it? Best Comedian of all time?
Yeah, well, it was...
Don't downplay it, though. Don't downplay yourself.
No, it was... So basically at Boss's Comedy Club, they at the end of the month, they have a comedy contest, and they hand out some ridiculous wood bat trophy where basically they pick out random people in the crowd to vote for their top comedians of the evening. And then it's fun. It's kind of whatever. Bosses is cool enough to hand out, some gift certificates to the winner, and then you get the trophy for the month. And then, of course, a big shout out. It is weirdly validating. But yeah, we...
So it's not participation. Like, this is a voted on thing.
Yeah. People try to act like you're like, it's not that big of a deal. But deep inside, as a performer, you're like,
yo, this
whenever someone wins, you're like, son of a bitch, I brought it. Or like, eat it. You like really eat it. And you're like, and it's so stupid. It's ridiculous.
Dude,
trophy. But it is validating because you get voted amongst the peers or other people. And like, yeah, that night I went in with a brand new joke and that I came up with maybe couple hours beforehand and
just crushed it.
Yeah, just went in there and just kind of had a don't give a fuck attitude and just had fun with it. And I'm getting better at my cadence, little timing, and just letting it roll. And like the help of the other comedians has been helpful with some feedback, and then just the other people, and then just sticking with your gut and knowing what works and what doesn't. Because people will try.
How much percentage of your set do you kind of like play by ear? And like, are you constantly gauging, all right, they're reacting well to this joke. I know if I follow up with this other one, I got in the clip, clack, 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 got in the clip.
Exactly.
Brrr. Like, is that like, do you rearrange your bullets live?
You're firing blanks and you're like,
no.
Yeah, well, you definitely need a read for the crowd because you can tell if people are pulling back and you're like, all right, we got to roll this a little differently. But you kind of get that. Yeah, I'll have some stuff that I'll kind of pull to, or if like, it doesn't matter if you're killing the entire room and you could have 200 people. I've never done 200 people, but you could have a room full of people and there could be that one person who just might be tentatively listening, but they're not laughing and they're just like, and everybody else could be dying, rolling on the floor, but you'll focus on that one person. You're like, why won't you love me?
That's the
why aren't you enjoying
yourself?
Thorn
in your nail type thing. You're like, oh.
So then I'll like, okay, if I can get this person to crack. So that's what I'll do is just have fun with that. And like you said, you just got to roll back, find out what works. And then, there's some stuff I can push hard on, other stuff not. And I think really coming out with just being authentic to yourself and not trying to do what you think your fellow comedians might like or other people.
Yeah.
You just gotta do what you like. And I mean,
So
if you were doing your studio like everybody else,
yeah,
it wouldn't be interesting.
Well, I'd probably be bored of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This is all self-serving, Cole. Like, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what ends up selling, is because once you start selling your authentic self and you're sitting there throwing it out there and you're like, all right, this joke I think is funny, but some of the other people I know may not think it might be funny, but it's funny to me. I'm going to still try to write it towards them. Well, then it doesn't come out as good. It comes out slow and it comes out kind of lame.
Yeah.
So if you just come out swinging and you're like, all right, I find this funny, I believe in it, I'm going to stand behind it, and I'm going to eat shit whether or not it's good. So then after that, it's trial and error, honestly. And then you just figure out where the breathe and the pauses are. And I've gotten better now. Like, I used to bring up a notebook because it was like my security blankie, where I'd just be up there and be like, I've got a notebook, and what if it doesn't go? I can go back to that. Now it's like,
that reminds me of the Joker.
Yeah.
He has his
notebook. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the Joker in a little bit, but I got one more question about the act of performing. Yeah. Do you get the nerves still? Like,
oh yeah.
Before you jump on stage, what's the like 2 minutes before stage look like for you? What do you like?
Butterflies, thinking. I feel bad because like any comic that is going after you, they're all going over their notes. They're looking at stuff, not paying attention, but that's kind of how it goes. But that's just the nerves of it and trying to just rehearse it, try to figure it out. But now I take that nervous energy, and I used to write out everything word for word, but now I'm like, just do bullet points. You know what you got to do. Tightening it up is funny, and give your crowd good credit. If they're intelligent, they'll get it. You don't have to explain every last detail. So that's kind of been my big thing, is anything in between that is also gray and wiggle room. So it's a lot more fun to be like, oh, if they are feeling this, I can still hit on this premise, but just hammer it out there. But it's, I still shit my pants a little bit every time I get up there, even if there's like 5 people. Like, ugh.
Is it? What's preferred? Like, would you rather do 5 people or like 50 to 100 in a small room? Like
5,200 in a small room. That energy expands. It's groupthink. It's why shit takes off the way it does today, where people, if they're not that interested, but you can tell if like the room is separate, it's hard to engage everybody, and the energy spread out a little bit differently. It's like it's its own little ecosystem. And yeah, if you can get them going, but that just means you got to pack them in tighter so they can feel that energy. If that energy spread out, it's super hard. Like if you got an auditorium full of people and they're just spread out everywhere, the message isn't going to get relayed. The energy isn't going to get picked up. But if you can create that environment, keep it nice and tight, and pack everybody in and move it. And like the Comedy Store, I think, does that in LA, you know, like when you come in, everybody has to sit up towards the front, and then you fill in towards the back.
Oh, okay.
You can't have it like church, because it is a strategy. You have to have people sit up close and be intimate and get it going. And it's a relationship between what you have between the crowd and yourself. So it's a contract.
I think of like this is me trying to be smart.
Yeah.
Like a circuit.
Yeah.
They gotta be close enough.
Yeah.
To continue the chain.
And then there's noise, you know? So like think of that circuit. If you have some sort of like noise amongst that circuit, and the longer it goes, you start to have it bleed out. The noise starts to get too effective, especially if, you know, somebody's not enjoying themselves. So then you got that one little seed in there that's creating bad noise, and you're not getting a clear message out there. So there's a lot that goes into it. I mean, yeah, it's fun to go up and just have some things. And it took a long time and a lot of hard work and a lot of eating shit. And like, man, I've done some shows where I like went up there and looked at my friends. I'm like, well, that did not go like that at all. Like that was hard. And like last week, those jokes killed, but it just depends on the situation, the environment. And then once you get that seed planted in your head, like, well, this isn't going well, all of a sudden the crowd starts feeling that you're feeling insecure. And then they're like,
yeah,
they start withdrawing.
Is it, I think a comedian's similar to like the MC in the hip hop world.
Yeah, for sure.
Where it's like, if you aren't confident and you aren't like, it shows through, and like the crowd is normally just like a mirror of you.
Yeah.
And so like if you put out like the energy, the confident energy, do you feel like it's like that when you're
100%? And that's something that's honestly helped my stand up a lot, is hosting those shows. So to go up and kick it off and set the tone for it. And then maybe you do have, you know, a newer comedian, or you have somebody who's been doing it for a long time, and they just have a bad set. Like shit happens. You have a bad set. It sucks when it happens. It's Russian roulette, and sometimes you catch that bullet, you know, but your job as the host is to come up and be like, all right, let's keep rolling. And then you might throw out a couple of jokes just to stoke the fire again and keep the oxygen for the room. And so sometimes you have to challenge yourself to like step out and let it roll out. So like you said, like that sucks when you're the next comedian, somebody comes up and does something really weird, or they're not sure, or it just doesn't go well. You know, they're learning. Well, then all of a sudden, the next comedian comes up and it might be you. And then all of a sudden, bam, you're like, oh shit, that's some weird energy to follow. So your job is to get up there and just hammer it out and, you know, lift the room back up. So,
show goes on.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that saying, the show goes on, because it's like, especially for this stuff, like, you know, none of this is actually live. We record it like it's live and then premiere it at night type stuff. But we've worked into the process of everything we do here. We record it live, like there's a studio audience, and if we mess up, we mess up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And I'm starting to feel like that is part of our brand identity here. Is like,
that's because overproduced shit. Like that's why so many people love live albums, because it's raw, it's real. You know, there's something about
live
it. And
albums.
That's why people love long form content like this, where they're sitting there chit chatting. You can see the impurity of it. And that's the fun about like going to live comedy, live shows. You know, you get something intimate at live time that nobody else is going to get.
It's like a photograph.
Yeah.
It's like, no matter what, like this is what I tell photographers. It's like, if you feel bad about your work or whatever, know that like in that moment when you press that button, even if there's someone right next to you pressing the button at the exact same time, it's not ever going to be the same thing.
No, never.
So like, I don't know. It's weird because like I come from a world where everything's overproduced. Like I used to do like professional photography and videography. Well, I don't know what I label what I do now. It's kind of weird now, but like I used to work in women's fashion.
You're a media mogul, baby.
Oh yeah, call me Warren Buffett. Is he a media mogul? I don't know.
I don't know. Hopefully, he becomes successful.
Rupert Murdoch.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, I'm the Asian Rupert Murdoch. I probably don't want that title, to be honest with you. No, but like it's crazy because like I used to go from like where everything is like post production and like hours of like fixing and editing, and polishing. Polish. Now it's like zero that. It's all pre-production, and man, it's crazy for me because like now I feel like a comedian or an actual performer or someone who's like. Because for me, like what I did before, I could be like, all right, it sucks. I can fix it later.
Yeah.
Now it's all pre-planning. And if it sucks, it sucks. You know what I mean? So like.
But you learn from eating shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
kind of like the last podcast we did where I messed up the audio.
Yeah. But look at the bright side of that, though. I think we established a pretty good rapport. We had a great conversation. Like we were texting back and forth. I was like, the best part about it is. Didn't even notice the cameras there. We're just chit-chatting with a fist in front of our face.
What people don't realize is that I grew up with very little friends, and this whole building and whatever this is that I'm doing is just me trying to have an actual childhood and have friends. So,
hey, man.
I'm like Michael Jackson out here. This is my Neverland. You know what I mean?
It's totally true. He gave me a bunch of wine and we slept over, and I slept underneath.
Hey, it's perfectly fine for two men to have sleepovers.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it's nice.
No diddling though. No diddling. I'm sorry.
That's for the next show.
Yeah, that takes some time to build up to that stage.
Cole gets diddled live on Kaizen.
But yeah, I wanna talk about last time. You're talking about how you had to prepare like an hour-long speech for the Nurses Association or something like that.
Yeah, the Emergency Nurses Association, the ENA.
So what is that process like compared to doing like a shorter comedy set? Did you find it harder, more rewarding? What was that like?
I definitely found it more rewarding. It was awesome. It was stressful, hard. I thought about it nonstop. I probably put more work into that than I have anything else, but because I really was excited about it, it was fun. It was an opportunity and they asked me to do it. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about. I don't know why, but I'm going to let it roll. And then I ended up just having fun with it and just share different stories. And I'm like, you know what? I want to take people on a ride. So I talked about intimate stories working in healthcare on top of comedy and bringing in funny and just sending that message home to be like, it's okay. And like, I ended up calling it What's So Funny, Making Light of the Darkness. So it was
Oh, that's a great title.
yeah. So it was super. And that's what I did. And just talked about like, you know, I couldn't hold a candle academically to the people I worked with. However, they gave me a chance. And my gift there wasn't academia. My gift was, you know, connecting with people, having fun with it, letting them roll and, you know, just driving that out. So it was an hour long of like, I found it surprising how quickly I could fill an hour, but you know, I wanted to be able to perform it without having to read anything, but you know, going through that whole thing was, yeah, there's no way I could have, you know, memorized the whole thing and let it be polished and sound good. I mean, it would, but it would have taken so much more time and work, and it would have, my own ego would have gotten in my way then. And
Yeah.
I would have just fucked it all up for all those nice people that were there. So I mean, there's about 100 people, so that was pretty cool. It was a good sized crowd, and you know, my brother-in-law's from Germany. He was here, and he joined us in the crowd, and he was out there. And like one of the best feedbacks. And Germans are not going to bullshit you. That is one thing. They will tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. So you get good, honest feedback. So he's sitting and he's like, man, that was so awesome. He goes, and I'm not joking. There's some people behind me that are like, wow, he is good. And I was like, shit, that felt pretty good, because the whole time I was up there like sweating my ass off and like, oh, I hope these people enjoy it. Like, we'll see what happens, or they get the message. And I got a lot of good positive feedback for it. And yeah, it was nice. So like I was telling you before the show, I'm hoping to rewrite it so that way I can put it in print and let people read it off there. Cause like I believe in the message of it, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of the work of it. So hopefully I can put that baby out there and let people roll with it and keep doing some more speaking. I really enjoyed it.
I'm interested. I really want to hear it. Like because like for me, I think about comedy all the time, and I think about, because you know, growing up, I was a really overweight kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I came from a really poor family. I'm talking like dirt poor. Like, it wasn't until 6th grade that we had gym class where we had to change that I've discovered what underwear was. I just didn't have it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like, I remember the first time in gym class, I pulled my pants on, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? Like, where's your underwear? And I was like, what are you talking about? What is that? And they're like,
why would you wear double pants?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
But, you know, like, it was like that. So, like, for me, comedy or being the funny fat guy has always been my thing.
Yeah, it's the way to get through it and the way to deal with things.
It's been my coping mechanism. And, like, you know, growing into an adult, I think of, like, why am I like this? Every day I'm like, why am I like this?
And that's what I touch on in my speech, talking about that, like what led me to do those things and why it was there. But you're right, it is 100% like a coping mechanism, but also it's a way to validate yourself and a way to make other people feel at ease.
Yeah, it's been weird because like I don't know, I think about comedy so much, and I think about like, I don't know who said it, but it's like, to be like a solid comedian, you have to have a lot of life, ups and downs, and you have to be familiar with the darker side of life to kind of like use that as a. I think it's gonna sound weird, maybe controversial, but like a lot of my favorite musicians, artists, creative people, they come from that.
The life of instability.
Yeah, it comes from like, they have a pool of darkness that they dip in. That's their inkwell.
Yep.
And it sucks because a lot of my favorite like people are depressed. You know what I mean? Like, I think of like my heroes, like Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
Robin Williams. Like these people that.
Those are celebrities of mine that like, that shit hurt when they passed away. I was like, oh.
And it's just like, you think about Anthony Bourdain.
That would be my dream job, by the way. I would love to do a comedic version of Anthony Bourdain, just hitting places up, interviewing people, just having fun with it and doing whatever.
It's like you look at him though, and you're like, man, this guy's got it made.
Yeah.
He's doing what all of us dream to do, and like at the end of the day, like he still succumbed to that darkness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like it's such a crazy. To me, it's like I think about comedy, I think about entertainment, then I think about depression, I think about suicide.
Yeah.
And like it's weird because like I've always told myself like, yo, my like depression comes from like poverty, you know?
It's a trigger. I think there's always something there. I was, you and I, even though we look vastly different, we
look different.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I have a beard. You have glasses.
There we go.
See, people are, I don't know what the hell you guys were thinking.
I feel like
you're the racist. So, but I grew up, from a very hardworking class family that, they struggled for years. Ironically, now that my dad is making decent money, now he doesn't wear underwear. So,
so I'm sorry to interrupt, but yeah, this was the question I was trying to get to in the most long-winded, convoluted way.
Does your dad wear underwear?
Does your dad wear underwear? Yeah.
Nope. I found that out the hard way when he tore his pants one day.
These are the stages. This is the stages of growth from poverty to success. You start out no underwear, chastised for it, then you have underwear, then you're so successful you don't need underwear.
That's right.
That's where we're trying
Don't
to get.
Be a part of the machine.
Yeah.
Get rid of those underwear.
You have to be so successful that the social norm of underwear doesn't apply to you.
See, my underwear just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
Oh.
So,
dude, that is a thing. As men get older, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm sitting here like, every time I'm at Target, I'm like, you know what? Maybe whitey tighties are the wave. And then now I'm like
let's get bikini cut.
I went to Cancun last year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting a Speedo. So I bought but I went to the store and I was like, all right, I'm not packing that much heat. So I'll get like the boy shorts. But I'm moving my way up there to like the real Speedo, like basically the man G string. And then eventually, when you go to the gym and you see old men and they're just butt ass naked in the changing room, like
I have a joke I'm trying to work on. I call it the Smithsonian of dicks. And about how like I just go into like the gym and you just walk in and it is like every single possible dick you could think of and the history behind them and everything that's going on around, just a bunch of dudes showing those off. But it's like you said though, with the depression and everything though, and dipping into that inkwell, it's about talking about putting out your content. It's more authentic and more interesting if it's you have those ups and downs and it's not too polished. If it's too polished, it's boring. That's why everybody loves the comeback story. That's why everybody likes to see it. Everybody likes to see it like, okay, everybody has their own insecurities, but if you can figure that out and dig deep, and it's hard when you're in it yourself and it's easy to preach it, but man, it's much more rewarding to be able to like, shit, I did it. I can't believe I got past that. All right, what's next? And yeah, I grew up super poor, super overweight. I used to weigh over 300 pounds. That shit's still a struggle for me to this day. And like, I'm still insecure. Like, I don't care. I can carry myself, do what I have to do, but it's dumb shit. Like going to the pool. Like I'm like, oh boy, even though
like I'll still wear a t-shirt in the pool. Yeah. That's me. Like I'm that guy for life.
It's
like,
tough, dude. It is tough.
Yeah.
But it's about that imperfection and the, what you have to do and how you want to carry yourself. And then it makes you authentic. It shapes you and you can decide if it's going to build you down or if you can use these imperfections to make yourself interesting or make the life you're living interesting, and whether or not you have bravery. And of course you got to put it out in a tasteful manner. Like nobody wants to hear about like, I've got mental health. Here's all the fucked up things I've done and been through. If you do that,
I stabbed a pigeon when I was 7.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's crazy shit like that happens and you get to see it. But if you can laugh about certain things, like I was listening to a podcast with Artie Lang on it here recently, and that dude's had a crazy life and now he's sobering up, but he laughs about it. And that's the big thing, is being able to laugh about it and being able to figure it out. And for me, that's how I coped with it. And some people put out their art and deal with it in different ways. If they put out music, video, like, it's pretty crazy shit.
So besides comedy, what are the coping healthy or unhealthy coping mechanisms do you have? For me, is diving deep into like RPG video games.
Yeah.
Like I love escapist shit.
That
Like,
stuff is nice. I eat my feelings, so that's
dude,
a tough one for
yeah.
me. Like, give me a bowl of ice cream, and that's party on. Like, I'll sit there like, a 16-year-old girl that's going through a breakup.
Dude, like before I had diabetes, probably why I have diabetes. Like I could like I could like send an email with one typo and then look at it later, like, no, fucking eat a whole family size bag of Doritos.
Yeah.
Like, ah.
Yeah.
And I would eat the pain away, and like, man, I
But you look at it at a this is just my armchair expert type stuff, but it releases endorphins when you're eating something that you enjoy, and then you release the dopamine, and it feels nice. It feels good.
some people say if you go running for long enough that happens. I'm like, it takes me like 4 chips, and runners say it takes like 5 miles.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't ran 5 miles in my life total. That's why I've never had that rush, like endorphins from running.
I think part of that is overcoming that and trying to get there. But yeah, I've heard that you do have to run a long fucking ways to be able to get that rush. And some people might get it easier than others.
I'm like, is that called dehydration? Like, what is that feeling going on?
Some of the other mechanisms I use too is, like I said, I like laughing. If I do get like in a shitty place, like currently I do psychotherapy every once in a while just to keep my shit in order. And like, I'm a huge proponent of mental health. Like I've been in that deep, dark place, and I talk about it, and it started young. Like my parents don't know about it. I wrote about it in my speech, and but I watch for it and I keep building it up. And so I know I need to maintain that, but I can feel it. And like I told my therapist the other day, the best way I could put it is if I can feel it's always there. The dark cloud's always there, and I can always tell like the more stress and like the more I'm on it, and it's easy to win. It's easy to win when you're on top and you got that momentum going. But as soon as you start to trip up, and I like to pretend like I'm holding a door shut, and I'm sitting there. Like some days I'm feeling so strong, so centered, so with it, I can just put my arm against the wall or like my finger and just keep that door shut and be like, man, fuck you, and just do whatever I have to do. But then as soon as I start getting beat down by the stresses in life, I start getting tired.
It's hard to hold the line.
Stuff, and all of a sudden that door is like sitting there banging open more and more and more. And then I'm like getting tired, and then that door just flies open. And then next thing I know, I'm just laying in the middle of the room and just being like, fuck it, what will be, will be. So then I got to figure out either I know when the time's going to pass, or I got to figure out a way to corral the beast, if you will, and push it back in that closet and, chime that shit up. And then hopefully next time I can figure out how to keep that door closed a little bit longer.
I read something somewhere long ago, and I've modified it and I've made it my own thing. But this is how I describe to people who don't know what it's like to live with like either depression or I don't even know how to categorize it. But this is what I explain to people. It's like, like every day, like every decision every day, whether it's what shoes do I wear?
Yeah.
What do I eat for breakfast? Who do I reach out to? How do I answer a question? I feel like there's always somebody. It's me on my shoulder, and he questions everything, and it's always filling me with doubt. And then if it's a good day, at the end of the night, I high five that guy and be like, hey, I won today.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, good, I'll see you again tomorrow. And he's always there.
It's, and that's the thing, is just figuring out your coping and figuring out what's going to make you win, and sometimes some of those strategies become stale, but you got to figure out your way around it. And anxiety is another big one for me. Like I can feel that shit, and that usually the anxiety will come hand in hand with the depression. And if I'm out of control and I don't feel like I know how to do it and I get frustrated, that's usually my temper will get out of control. And everybody's like, oh, you're such a funny guy though, and you enjoy stuff, and you're always like smiling, having fun. I'm like, yeah, but when I'm left alone with my own thoughts and like things aren't going very well, that's when the train spins out, and like that's when it becomes a runaway locomotive.
Dude, I would die in solitary confinement. I think solitary confinement is probably the most evil thing you can do to a person.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's I'm right there with you. Like I got to get up, I got to get that social interaction. Sometimes it's good to recharge, but there's a time and a place for it. And yeah, it's a big fucking deal, and hopefully, yeah, people will continue and not. My dream is that mental health becomes just as routine as your yearly checkup, and being like, all right, it's all about wellness as a whole. If you keep your mind, body, and spirit all in one spot, and like I'm not a religious dude, but I'm definitely all about like keeping that mind, body, and spirit. And if you can keep all those pieces together, as soon as one of those get out of balance, the rest of you is kind of fucked, and you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Get to that point and try to do it. And it's okay, man. Like you said, you don't have to have it like that all the time. You got to appreciate those rough spots and those wins. And those wins are much, much sweeter when, like you were talking about, like, oh shit. Oh, I'm actually making money. Oh, I'm not getting another late notice bill. Awesome. Yeah. It's like good shit like that.
It's like for the first time in my life, I'm getting emails that aren't like, yo, your past due.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, we want to give you money. It's nuts.
It's a good feeling, but that's because you're authentic and you're learning from your mistakes and figuring out a way to build that and the tools. I mean, yeah, it's a difference between somebody who's just being and surviving. Somebody who survives, rises above it and figures it out on their own. Like, I love that. I love a good, authentic person that just does their thing and doesn't try to shove their shit down their face. And people are going to notice it the more authentic you are and the easier you go about it.
It's weird because I feel like I think a lot about how I approach this content.
Yeah.
And like the one thing I tell myself every time before recording or like watching them or whatever is like, don't put on an act. Don't put on a fucking act.
Yeah.
Do not put on an act. Because, man, I'll tell you what, when I first started this about a year ago, I put the camera up for the first time and I looked at it and I was like, hey guys, welcome to the Cham podcast. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I did that 50 times. Just trying to do an intro.
Yeah.
And then I said, fuck it. I'm just going to start off and just ramble. I'm just going to
just
not think about it.
Yep.
And, that's been the approach so far. And damn it, I'm surprised it's working.
Well, that's because everybody likes Cham. People don't like, hi, Cham.
Hey, guys.
Because, like I said, that's too polished. People want to see authenticity. They want to see somebody like, all right, this dude's entertaining. He's interesting. He brings out different perspective. Okay, feel this. And provoking thought. If you bring out something that's just boring in a white sheet of paper, nobody wants to see that shit. And they want to see something with some color and a little rough around the edge or something with character.
Did you have that in your comedic career? Did you feel like when you were first starting, you were putting on a voice?
Yeah, 100%. And one of the best feedback I ever got was this dude. He's a military vet, and like his name's Crazy Dave. Dave. I mean, the guy's got the greatest stories ever, and he's absolutely hilarious. But he will say, just one of the best advice I got was when I started doing my podcast down at Next Edge for a while, and I was doing it, and I did the same thing. Like, hi, this is Cole Boeve. Welcome to the Colecast podcast. It's the most interesting thing I could think of at this time. I'm going to talk to my guest today, Cham. Hi, Cham. How are you? And
Hey.
yeah, exactly. So that was like my whole thing. And then my friend Dave, he's like, the fuck was that? And I was like, what? And he's like, just be Cole. People like Cole. Just people want to hear Cole talk. They don't want to hear this other guy. Like, don't talk like you think people should talk when they're on air. Talk like Cole would talk. Say what you have to say. I was like, oh. And that's where the authenticity started coming through. My voice started sounding a little bit different, somebody else's. And then I feel like once I started to get the hang of it, that's when I stopped doing the podcast. Just got too busy. But, now I started doing the writing and started doing stand-up. And that was something with those guys. I was kind of saying things the way I thought maybe some of the other guys would sound. Instead, it's like, nobody wants to hear the same comedian imitate one another. Like, just come up with your own thing and have fun with it and then enjoy everybody else's shit. So I feel like I'm starting to find that comedic voice, and it's been about a year and I still have a long ways to go. I'm still not happy with how I am with everything, but I'm starting to get more comfortable. And that's why.
Do you think you'll ever be fully happy with
No.
good?
No, that's exactly when you're gonna be. That's when I should get the fuck out.
Kaizen, continue improvement. Yeah, that's our whole thing here.
Yeah, and I want to keep learning things and just doing something different. Like the wheelhouse and the work I'm in now. It's not something that I'm good at. I'm learning. It's frustrating as shit. It's humbling as shit. But I'm just trying to do something different. And that's when they called me to do that speech. I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about these people, but yes, I will do it, and I'll see what I can do.
Dude, I think you might be on to something with that speech. I think you should double down on doing like public speeches.
I like the old dude right here that comes up and just like vacuuming leaves. Like,
Shout out to the old dude. I've never seen this guy before. I want to like put a camera on him.
It's just funny, the most random shit that can happen. Like, you never expect some dude to come up with a leaf blower, just start sucking leaves downtown.
A leaf sucker. Dude, you know what's crazy? Like, I've had people just walk in and like, they're like, what is this? And I'm like, it's not a public business. Get out of here.
Yeah, 100%.
It blows my mind, man. Like, dude, it's so weird to me because like I suffer with imposter syndrome all the time.
Yeah.
So having like this building is like doubling down on that because like now there's a perceived like thing. People are like, whoa, Chan's got a building with his friends. Like they're so successful. I'm like, motherfucking no.
Yeah,
like
we're trying to make it work, but that's every single business, and you find with every single business, every
that's
single
what I'm learning.
person, is every person's just
fucking hanging on for dear life. It's like,
hanging on for dear life. And then even though you survived the last month and things have grown a bit, you're still like, okay, I'm winning, but now the problems are bigger and I got to keep doing it. But then you just, I don't know, if you're really enjoying it and you're enjoying the content and the shit's going out there, then the following will happen. So, but it's totally weird. But, I appreciate the compliment on like the speech stuff. Like I said, I'm going to put it in a little more digestible so it's more readable.
I think you should. I think we should go rent out or like hit up some of our friends. Like I know some people. I know some people with podiums.
Yeah.
Get a podium and then like reset it up and film it and then like cut it into like a 60-second greatest hits of this speech thing. And then we just mass email that out to every organization, every nonprofit that holds events in town. And like, yo, we got a motivational speaker telling stories of adversity. See, like that's my goal eventually is like to do the podcast long enough where someone's like, Sam, you want to do a talk? Because dude, like my goal is to get paid to just tell stories.
Yeah, for sure. And it is 100%. That is where I want to be. And that's what I love about doing stand-up comedy. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I want to do a little bit of everything. I like it. I appreciate the shit out of everything you guys have built here. Like you said, you're trying. And like, I will never ever look down on somebody if they try. And even if they're failing, if they're trying, awesome. And if they're not pointing the finger at everybody else, but they're looking intrinsically, it's fucking awesome. So shout out. I mean, I'm open to doing whatever.
Getting me teary-eyed. I'm excited, dude. You
should be. You should be excited. You're doing a lot of good shit here. And I think that's why people like you, is that you're just going for it and you're letting it rip and you're doing it your way.
Well, dude, to give the viewers a little insight, it's most days it's me in here filled with doubt. Like I don't go outside, so like it's nice when I have like it's nice to like I went outside for the first time last week.
Yeah,
I went out to an event and I was shooting it, so I had a reason to go to it because most days I'm in here all day making shit, going crazy, and then like I go home.
You sound like my buddy Boss. That's exactly what he does. He goes, I got shit to do, and it's going to take some money for me to get out of my house and then move forward again. Even though he's super awesome to be around. Yeah. It's his jam.
But I went outside last week and man, like people I look up to, like Chris from Pinnacle Productions.
Yep.
He came up to me. He's like, yo, your guys' shit is everywhere. I was like, really? It's like, that's the public perception. It's like, so it's nuts. Like, because like for the first time I went outside and got like a gauge of like what the city thinks kind of. And it's nuts because like being in here all day, just cranking out stuff, doing stuff, it gets so isolating and like I have no gauge on success. You know what I mean? So like it was nice because Chris is someone I look up to a lot. And he's like probably one of my role models. And for him to be like, you guys are fucking killing it. Like it like for me it was like the first time I felt like weirdly validated. You know what I mean? Like I'm always looking for like validation from older white men. It's a weird thing. Me and Vince both have a weird complex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's how it is.
No, I think everybody has that in their own way. They're looking for validation from somebody. It doesn't matter who it is or where you are. You're looking for some sort of validation. And like we talked about, sometimes it's about proving your parents wrong. Like
Oh man,
it's going against the grain, and
we
trying to
almost
figure it
named the
out,
studio "Mommy Issues" instead of Kaizen.
Well, you went with the mommy issues. Sounds like a place where you go to get freaking, behind the scenes hand jobs. Like, but your guys' logo and everything's fucking awesome though, and like it's interesting, and it's something you don't see in Sioux Falls, and you wouldn't expect. And coming down here, and you're like, oh, that place is interesting, or there's stuff going on. You got the front, and then the studio, and people can walk by and see that, and then see the content you guys are putting out. You're not a one trick pony, and you got to have multiple streams and multiple things that are rolling on and multiple outlets, and that's something you guys are doing really well. So.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Kudos.
that. We I love having people come in and tell us nice things, because in here we're all like just fucking yelling at each other. Yo, we need to do better. We suck ass. Like,
I thought it would be bigger. That's
what she said.
Well, it seems a little. I figured it'd be more ethnic. Where's the ethnic?
Man, it blows my mind, dude. I'm putting it in. I'm putting it out. I'm shooting my shot. I'm trying to get the mayor on this podcast, man. Like, for me, that's like the next level. That's the next boss.
Yeah.
If I can get the mayor on here, even if he's just like here for like 5 seconds, like I'm gonna feel it's weird. I have like these weird goals that
they're good goals and they're interesting. And I think I wasn't sure about Tank Hagen as I was when everything was going on, but I could tell like he's got a good entrepreneurial spirit. Dude knows what's up. He's got his pulse, and like when those shitty snowstorms were hitting, everything was flooding. Dude was out there, and he was recognizing the people that are
and the tornado too. He was
I mean, he was out there just doing his shit, and it's authentic. Again, authenticity. Last time we did our show, it was empathy was our magic word of the day, and today brought to you by Kaizen is authentic. Be authentic.
I almost got really Asian and authentic. Like, dude, I almost
made a huge mistake and tried doing the Asian authentic, and you can't do that.
No, dude, I'm a very strong, like, I don't like accents. I think it's cheap, but sometimes.
If it's done right, it works.
No, unintentionally, it just fucking comes out. Chinglish comes out for me sometimes. Like for me, it's always like with numbers or prices, or like when I used to work like retail, like $32. I'm like, oh fuck,
it just rolls out.
Yeah,
sometimes I'll do like a really terrible Canadian, like, but I don't do it on purpose. It'll just roll out. And like when I lived in California, that's what people are saying. Like,
well, dude, like people think we're from Canada, because like Minnesota accent is just like Canada accent, and like we're so close to Minnesota. Yeah,
my wife, she's from Germany, and like I don't even really notice her accent, but I'm like sensitive to people like giving a shit about accents or making fun of them. Like, and I'll like. If it's poking fun, it's fun, whatever. But if they're punching down and just doing it to be an asshole, that's when I get pissed. But if the timing's right and the fun's right, let it roll. Yeah. But they, man, we were watching Jingle All the Way one time, and you just hear Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's Austrian, not German, but still, you just hear him like, ah! And my wife just comes marching in, and she goes, turn this fucking shit off. What is it? She sounded just like Arnold at that time, and I fell off the couch laughing. And she was legit mad, but then she started laughing. She's like, such an idiot. Like, turns out TV. I'm like, well,
like for me, accents are so weirdly personal because, like, as a kid, as the funny fat guy, I would use accents to break myself down. So then the people who were already breaking me down, we had something to relate with. And the reason I stopped was like, these people aren't laughing with me, they're laughing at me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So like, so that's why like I'm so like,
that's why I won't do like a lot of self-deprecating like fat guy jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's easy. It's easy to punch.
It is low hanging fruit. Yeah.
And if you can start digging in, sometimes this is what you got.
And like people look up, look up to you. You know what I mean? Like, whether you want to accept it or not, like doing what you do, doing what I do, there's gonna be people who see what we do, and if all I'm doing is punching down on myself, I don't want people to think that that's how you got to do it to fit in with culture, or you know what I mean. Like my whole goal is to be authentic. You know what I mean?
Authentic. Now, so I need to take her and like, bling, bling.
Yeah, we need like a green screen sign. Like I've been thinking about, so when we ball out, looking for sponsors. Anyone wants to sponsor us? I want to get a big ass TV here
Yeah.
to do like stupid things where I can just throw things on the screen.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's my next life goal, is to get a TV right here. So if you, Carl's Electronics, if y'all listening, sponsor your boy.
6 Technologies.
I see you guys.
That's where we're at. So we do a lot of that shit.
What do you? So
People always ask me what I do, and I'm like, I don't know.
Because is it live stuff? You like?
We do a little bit of everything. So it's 2 different companies. One of them is a software company that we create from scratch, basically doing financial distributing and whatnot for construction companies. Brand, it's been a fucking bearcat. Like, that's what I love about where I'm at right now, because the dudes that I work for and under that I know, those dudes run through brick walls, and like it's absolutely amazing to me, like what those guys do. It's so awesome. But you getting a delivery, son?
I think so. Hopefully I don't have to.
No, them.
Hopefully I don't have to sign for it, because you ain't getting in, buddy. We recording. I need a live recording sign too, like on the door.
Yeah.
It's like live recording.
Get people like out here, like you put a gate around the sidewalk.
Dude, my goal is to get an outside speaker and like channel whatever audio is playing in here.
Yeah, with
out
monitors. That's a good idea.
That, like, oh man.
Yeah, and just let it roll and see who's up there, and you can like have it on your ticker.
I have so many goals.
These are all really good ideas that you guys are not stealing.
Oh, they can steal them. I'm not an ideas hoarder, man. Like,
yeah, seriously, shout out somebody who does. I think it'd be a sweet idea, especially if you did like late night recordings with all the shit that's around here with late night.
Oh, dude,
good idea.
We have so many
like,
goals.
We're talking about doing a live show sometime, where a live show, comedy show. That's actually a really good idea. We'll do that.
I think we should do it on this stage. Have limited tickets there,
late night,
and then have free
out there,
free people out there.
Wah.
Separate the bourgeoisie and the proletariats. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Think tank. We got it.
Boom. All right. I wanted to talk about, because last time I think I saw the Joker.
Yeah.
And you hadn't seen the Joker.
I hadn't seen the Joker.
Now we've both seen the Joker.
Yeah.
What did you think?
Blew my mind. I thought the writing was excellent. Cinematography was excellent. But it did exactly what I love. It provoked thought, and it showed a really intimate thing. And there was something relatable about the Joker in a deep, dark place that brought it out. And it's I don't know. It was phenomenal. Like, it shed some excellent light, and it wasn't what a lot of people thought it'd be. And I think it makes people uncomfortable, which is good, because it provokes thought and shines a light. And there were so many broken things about today's society that there was a light on there, that it wasn't in your face, but it opened it up. I don't know.
I could see
phenomenal.
I could see why people would get uncomfortable watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially people who don't have that pool inkwell of darkness that we have to dip from, where it's like a lot of people, I feel like the people who reacted to it in like a negative way were uncomfortable with confronting the reasons why they could relate to the main character. You know what I mean? Because it's not a hero story at all.
No, it's definitely anti.
It's I feel like the reason why I consider it art is because it made you uncomfortable as a viewer. And I think honestly we need more of that. Because like I think of like the current trend in superhero movies and everything. There's very few ones where I can relate.
Yeah.
I can't relate to Captain America. I can't relate to...
That's why Captain America and Superman suck ass, in my opinion, because they're too polished.
Yeah. I it's weird about Superman. It's like I feel weird about Superman because he's the only superhero where his disguise is his human side.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like for me, Superman's a little bit interesting. I just don't get Batman. Like I don't get Batman. Like I can't relate to most superheroes. I don't think I can relate to any of them, honestly. But the weird thing about Joker was I think people could relate to it.
Yeah.
And that's what made them uncomfortable because they're like, I don't want to see these seeds of darkness
like,
inside myself.
Oh, yeah. Or it makes people uncomfortable because they put up this weird facade that they think everything is going great. And like, oh, this can't really happen, or this happens, and they just can't confront the fact that there's shitty things in the world that happen. And not everybody starts out as an honorary person. There might have been a series of events that start to snowball that pushes somebody to do something awful.
I tell Vince, we're all like 2 bad days away from becoming a Joker out here.
Nope. You're not wrong.
You're like almost all of us are like a couple shitty days away from snapping. You know what I mean? Like, in this studio specifically, because like we all have mad mom issues.
Well, that's when I was thinking, like, watching the show and like picking it apart and like watching the Joker, and then all of a sudden, everybody's seen the.
It was generations of abuse. Like that was the craziest part about this Joker film.
Different things in different ways happen. Things happen. Everybody's been shit on at a job that they hate or trying to do it, or they had things that roll up, and then they meet their hero, their role model, and these
get shitted on.
Yeah, piece of shit, or like other stuff, or something isn't the way, or somebody. There's things on and on and on that you can go on about that. It's a hell of a film. Like it beautifully written, and like I said, it's the cinematography's beautiful, but it's beautiful because it's gritty.
Yeah.
And it's not polished, and it's not your typical, like, it's not in your face. It's just very human, very real, and it's like you're watching a live documentary of somebody.
And Joaquin Phoenix has, from watching that, he's become one of my favorite actors.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
And I like, for me, the best part about it was when he went on Jimmy Kimmel afterwards. And he didn't play Jimmy Kimmel's game. Or which one's the squirrely one?
Oh, fucking, he drives me crazy.
The one he always comes off as unauthentic?
Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The dude that cackles like a hyena. And
yeah,
like an asshole.
I remember watching Joaquin on that. And I was like, damn, like either he's still in the role, or this is just Joaquin saying like, yo, like, don't make light of this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I really appreciated that, because like, just watching the interaction, everyone, like a lot of people were like, oh, why is Joaquin Phoenix so uncomfortable? It's like, no, he just didn't want to play the game. Like, you know what I mean? And to me, that's so cool, because I think about like, shit, if I ever got on a show like that, I would probably as a safety blanket revert to, hey guys, it's Cham. How about Jimmy Fallon? No, but
that's a professional though. He knows what he wants. He's an authentic artist, and he's an authentic dude. And it's like he said, he's not interested in doing a sequel to it, because he's like, I did what I did, and I don't want to cash cow it. And because he made his art and he did his thing, like I commend that. I commend somebody that I love movies. I love actors. I love it all. And I was thinking, like, who else besides Joaquin could have done this role justice? And I really think I would love to see Edward Norton approach it. Mm-hmm.
I love Edward Norton as well. He's probably one of my favorite actors as well.
Edward Norton would have,
because
I think he would have done a pretty good job. I have a hard time thinking of somebody though that would have. So I'm so in love with the way that the character did it, and it was interesting to get my brother-in-law's perspective on it, because he saw it
like the German one.
Yeah, because in Germany, there's stuff that doesn't translate, but they dub everything. They release it at the same time, and they release it in different languages. And he's like, there's stuff that just didn't, resonate or carry over. And he goes, and to hear it in the authentic way, in the way that it was delivered in his voice, like I thought that was pretty cool to hear that. And yeah, he was like, it was so much more. He's like, I loved it in German, but he's like, it was so much more immersive and really drew him in. So yeah, it was pretty sweet to get that perspective too.
Man, yeah, no, I know it's a good film, because like it was on my mind for like weeks after I watched it.
Yeah, it was the first thing I thought of when I woke up next day. I was like, and just nitpicking it and like thinking like, I would love to go see this again, just because it provoked thought.
Yeah. I can't even remember the last film where I watched it and it resonated that much. It's hard. Like what was the first film for you that hit you that way?
Showgirls, because man, it's the first time I saw some real boobs on TV. No,
dude, I remember that. I remember watching the edited version of Showgirls. That's the best. They would like CGI clothes on the girls. Was there a film that made you love film at first? Like I'm asking this because I know my answer. So if you want, I'll answer
I'm
first.
trying to think as like a young guy, like what my go-to films were. You know, there's certain comedies and stuff, but like as an adult, like one that I can still watch over and over and over again to this day is Good Will Hunting.
Okay.
Yeah, like I love Robin Williams' role in it and how well he did with it, and just the thought and the journey behind that. Like that one will always resonate with me. Like I said, I love psychology. I love all that stuff. I love
that was the first film where you're like, damn, like this is what a film is.
Yeah, and really thought about it. Like it wasn't a bunch of flashy explosions. It wasn't crazy shit. And like you said, you're like, I'm surprised people thought that Joker was so violent. And I said it wasn't the fact that it was over the top violent. It wasn't cartoony. It was real.
Yeah.
Like it was real violence. It was real. Like it was a good, well told story. Like,
yeah. For me, the film that like made me appreciate film as an art was Children of Men. And it's weird. It's affected everything I've created since, because in Children of Men, the camera is a character.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like it's an exploratory character too. So it's like, I don't know. I can't even explain why Children of Men is so impactful to me, because like it was the first movie I saw with like super long takes, where it built the world in like the way that I want to build worlds, in like the way I produce like video content. And man, like
what is it called again?
Children of Men.
Children of Men.
Clive Owen's in it.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a story of like how in the near future, humans can't reproduce.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it opens with like the youngest person got killed, and they called him Baby Diego, and he's like 25. You know what I mean? So it's like what happens to the world when we can no longer reproduce? And like I think about this thought process a lot. I'm like, the biggest problem in the world is overpopulation. So if we just sterilize everybody, the rest of us, like in college. All right, let me tell you about college. How much this movie affected me. In college, I joined this movement called the Voluntary Human Extinctionalism movement. It's where we're trying to convince. I don't know if wouldn't consider myself part of the movement anymore. But in college, you know, the college years.
Yeah.
No, you
get stuck in
you try drugs. You're doing like slam poetry. Yeah. You know, all that stuff.
You're finding yourself. You're passionate about everything.
Yeah, like
whether it be like taking a shit, you're like, I'm gonna lay this down and I'm gonna show everybody.
Yeah, now this is art. I'm gonna frame this shit. No, but like I was part of this movement. It was like the Voluntary Human Extinctionalism, where it's like all we have to do is everyone agrees to not reproduce, and then there's enough resources, there's enough money, there's enough everything in the world right now for everyone to be living the best life possible. And then when we all die, the earth is back to its natural state. And like, to me, I don't know why in college that was so appealing. So like Children of Men showing that when people can't reproduce, the world just goes to shit. I was like, damn. All right. So like I had this idealistic view of extinctionalism, and then my favorite film flips that on its head. So yeah, no, it's so.
I said that yesterday with, if you haven't seen Endgame by now, then whatever. But my brother-in-law, he hadn't seen it yet, so we watched it yesterday together, and we're talking about, you know, the snap and everybody, you know, half the world disappearing and everything, so that way the world's resources and everything can be better. But he was like talking about, he's like, wow, that's like a really interesting idea, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, but look at the flip side of it. All these people are trying to do something, and there's half the population. Well, now half of your market is gone, and then half the people that did the job is gone. So there's people that won't do this stuff anymore. And then I'm like, so you're back at square one no matter what. And he's like, oh shit, you're right. Like, all for nothing.
If you could selectively snap.
yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that's I'm not Chamlife does not support mass genocide. Yeah. I just want to clarify that.
Neither does Boeve comedy.
Nope. This is a thought
stuff
process.
Funny, and you can still think about things that are silly. That's comedy.
Man. So, I want to ask you. I don't think I asked you last time. You ever play video games?
Yeah. I'm trying to get more time now, and like Santa was nice enough to bring my son a PS4 last year. Oh, that was nice of him. And then also Santa decided to pick some games that are coincidentally pretty cool that I like. So yeah, that's very handy as well. So every once in a while,
are you finding that medium as a way to connect with your son?
Yeah, every now and then. Yeah, we'll play like sports games together and different things. And I respect like I come from the generation I still don't understand watching a lot of gamers play and like sitting there following them.
Yeah,
I respect it. It's just not for me right now. And I'm like, hey, but also,
does he do that?
Yeah.
Does he have brothers? See, to me,
he has an older sister, but she doesn't do any gaming at all.
See, because when I was a kid, I would watch my brother play Zelda. So I get why people like watching people play games.
I grew up where it was like, dude, hurry the fuck up.
So I can play.
That's my shit. And like my brother-in-law, he watches games and he's like, no. Like we got this game. He's like, no, it's cool. You can play and I'll watch it. It's fun to watch it because I can see.
So you're more the streamer than the audience.
So I'm like, all right. So yeah, like I'll sit there and like fuck around and
it's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. So, and I've like thought about, I'm like, man, it would be fun just to start streaming and having fun with some of these games. And
dude, streaming is so wild to me because sometimes I'll just stream like me editing.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
but it's fun just to bullshit.
It's the most engagement I get, and people like chat with me, and I'll talk to them, and dude, it's so weird. I get the live, I get the streaming life now. I used to make fun of it. I'm like, look at these people like sharing their bullshit, and I'm like, now I'm sharing my bullshit, and it's like, I'm getting human connection.
It's authentic. You get the connection. You get people that are like, oh, I'm a part of this creative process.
Authentic.
But the assholes that are out there being like, oh, hey, we're going to build it like this. Hey, kids, don't forget to buy our merch. Like, that is so inauthentic and just polished bullshit. That's the stuff that drives me crazy because they're full of shit putting on a facade. And like, people who are just being real and having fun and doing whatever. Like, I get that. I get being a fan of those people. The people that are.
Oh, we're putting out merch soon too.
Oh, you guys should because it's fun stuff. And you guys are fun dudes, but you're not like in your face about it being like, Kaizen Studios. Get it. Not every 30 seconds. And putting on a facade. Like, hey, if you guys want this stuff, it'd really help out. Appreciate it. It's fun. If not, whatever.
Let me take these notes.
Yeah, you're not sitting there just blasting people out and like throwing it in their face and being like, just begging. And
let's talk about, there's a new trend called influencers.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I'm learning about it. And I'm like, because I'm trying to be optimistic. I'm trying not to punch down. I'm trying not to shit on people trying to make a living. But I feel like the problem with influencers, and I see this a lot, and the reason I'm thinking about it is because I became victim to an influencer.
Mm-hmm.
Someone posted like, yo, this mini projector is awesome. It's $50. You can watch movies on it. I was like, yeah, buy this shit. I got the projector. It's the worst piece of shit in the world.
Yeah.
Like, it is the worst piece of tech I've ever bought. And I'm like, God damn it. Fuck influencers. Like, I got so mad. I was just like, oh, how did I get tricked into like perceiving value?
Yeah.
And oh man, like to me, that is the worst thing in the world. It's like, I don't know. It's like when your heroes fuck you over.
Again, that's in authenticity. I mean, like people are just
so like I have to be careful now.
Yeah, they're like trying to just money grab, and they're usually full of shit, and they're like trying to say stuff and trying to be like, yo, this is how it's going to be. You want your happy life. You want your best life. And there's a lot of YouTubers that I'd watch that are YouTube influencers or, Instagram influencers. And you see this a lot in today's, fuck me. Just my brain went blank. In a lot of fitness industry, everybody's a guru. Everybody's going to tell you how to live your best life. Everybody's like, what are you going to do to change yourself, Cham? What you gonna do? Hey, you can't get in here and you can't spend every day. And then come to find out, they're sitting there barely holding their own shit together, but they're gonna be your guru and tell you how to live your life and how to do everything the best they can. And
that's what I suffer with the most right now. Is now people like on Friday night at our first event at the after party, I was just sitting outside and this guy's like, he's kind of like timid. He's like, hey man, can I ask you a few questions? And I was like, yeah. And he was just like, he's like, I see what you're doing. He's like, how did you do this? It's like, how did you not give up?
You grow it organically.
And I was like, I've given up 100 times doing this. I was like, I'm not going to lie to you and say this has been easy. This has been 10 years in the making. You're just seeing it now. And I was like, I don't think I can give you actual advice, because I was like, the only thing I can tell you is look at your social circle very carefully.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that's the only advice I can give to people who ask me for advice now. Is like, your social circle determines your success.
Yep, exactly.
And like, that's the simplest way I can put it.
Yeah.
But no, it was weird because for the first time, someone was asking me for advice, and like the imposter syndrome hit me so hard, because I was like, dude, like, I just let him know. I was like, it's not a success. This isn't a success to me. Like, what Kaizen is and what I'm doing right now is the hardest thing I've ever had to try to do. And it's not easy. This is I filled with doubt every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I get worried that I'm like, am I portraying an image that's not authentic right now?
Right.
And so it's really hard for me right now, because now we're at the point where, you know, I told you when you came to this point, we got our first like actual sponsor like reaching out to us.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And I'm just like, fuck, I don't want to be a shill. I don't want to push products that I don't believe in.
Right.
So like now
that's
that hurdle I have to get over. It's like, all right, do we take this? Do I believe in this product?
As a money grab, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it would be nice to be able to improve the studio, to grow, and to not go into mountains of debt doing this. But how do I do that in a way that's still authentic? You know what I mean?
I think the important part of the growth is to build those relationships, even though you may not see it in whole. But if you're able to speak with the, you know, said sponsored partner, and it is a partnership, and that's to say like, hey, help me understand why, you know, we're pushing this, or what we want to do with it. Like, I'm happy to figure it out, or like, I'm sorry, it's something I just can't really get behind at this time. You can use it as a tool to sit there and build on it and figure out the relationships and, you know, move them in slowly instead of just, like you said, grabbing everything, because that is exactly when the inauthenticity stops, or it starts, and then you start pushing bullshit. And then next thing you know, a bunch of people out there be like, yo, Cham is all about this projector. I bought the projector. That thing is a piece of shit. Fuck Kaizen right in its stupid butt. You know?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what a lot of people will be like. So I think it's just figuring out a way to develop that. And
I think I overthink a lot. And I don't know if that's a gift or a curse at this point.
It's both, but you're careful. But you started this stuff organically. And that's exactly where people like, I'm like, I've officially only been doing stand-up for, I don't know, 9 months, 10 months, something like that. But I've done a lot of shit that I didn't ever think I was going to do from it. And it's presented opportunities, but it's because I wasn't trying. I had zero expectations for it. I didn't know what was going to happen. And now I'm starting to get booked with more things. I have more people asking me to do stuff. You know, I'm writing more. It's crazy because all the shit that I've done in my life and everything that I've done, people are always like, Cole's a stand-up comic. And I'm like, fuck, everything I've accomplished in my life, everybody's like grabbing onto that, which is funny. Yeah. But everybody's like, oh, I can see it. Like, he's always been that guy forever. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and it's because, like you said, I just took the leap 9-10 months ago. I've always been building up to it and always been messing around and doing different things. And it's always been my jam my entire life. And it's been a pretty good gift and it's a lot of fun. It's been pretty well received. And I think if people see that organic growth and you just keep concentrating and keep doing what you believe in yourself, people are going to follow that and they're going to appreciate it. And then, like you said, if you can cut down in that social circle, you're going to have those assholes that are going to drag you down because they're holding on to you and trying to ride that carpet. Or you got the people that are trying to break you down because they're naysayers. And
I'm trying to get people to eat my carpet.
Yeah, for sure. Get into it. Like you said, you're going to have people try that pho.
Damn. No, man, but I want to put it on wax. I want to slowly wrap up this podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you be willing to be part of our big holiday Christmas program.
Fuck yeah, man.
Because, all right,
I'd be
here it is.
honored.
I'm announcing it now to everybody.
Kaizen exclusive.
Kaizen Christmas. It's also Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and non-binary and all of the check boxes.
Yeah.
If you're a person
Bring it in.
and you're alive in the next couple months, this is for you. Okay, that's how inclusive this is. You don't even have to be a person. You can be an object. You can identify it as a toaster, and this is for you. All right, we're doing the Kaizen holiday / Christmas special, and we just booked Cole to do a live set. So we're gonna do a live studio audience in
All right.
here. Very limited.
Feel it?
From here on till the special, we're recording. We have some artists already confirmed, and I'm gonna let a big one out. Denim's gonna be one.
Oh
But,
yeah. Shout out Denim.
so-
Denim's my boy.
Denim is the person. I don't say the man anymore because I'm woke. But Denim's the person.
Denim also tux. So
Yeah.
I mean,
So we're gonna
there's
have
that.
a bunch of artists come in and do either their versions of Christmas songs or like original holiday theme songs.
Nice.
And then we're gonna do like a 2-hour block live with all those performances. And then we're gonna have a Santa in here. We're gonna
do the
have
roast of Santa.
yeah. And we're gonna have Cole do a live set
Awesome.
for the show.
Yeah, I love it. And that's what I'm
And
saying.
maybe you could help host it. I'm trying to get you very committed here.
No, I will.
putting the pressure on.
I'm super committed. Like I said, I'm not only doing it, and I think this is where a big part of my success has come in, or successes, if you will, or my wins. I won't even call them successes. My wins
Yeah.
is because it's all about building a community of people and things that you believe in. If I don't believe in your shit, trust me, I'm not gonna be. I'd be like,
Awesome.
hey, Cham, thanks, dude. I'll get back to you. Dog.
Yeah, let me I'll send you an email.
But when you hear a good opportunity, you just got to say yeah. And that's how I felt about that nursing thing. And I think it's just going to keep doing it. And I'm super excited about this. This relationship that we've started to build and have fun with it. And like I said, I'm not only like I'm a fan of your guys' shit. Like I love the stuff you guys put out, and that's why I feel really happy about being here today and doing that. So I sincerely appreciate it, and I will always keep doing what you're doing, and I'll always back you up for sure.
Man, that means a lot because you know us. We're always looking for that white male validation. So ding, 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 baby. All right, let's give you want to tell the people any message of hope, where to find you, anything upcoming.
Yeah. My upcoming things that I've got going on, I have next month, December, the end of December, the new bonus rounds. I've got a bonus round showcase that's going on there. Boss's Comedy. You can catch me pretty much every Wednesday at Boss's Comedy. The last Wednesday of the month is the big competition night. So this month I'll be headlining it since I won last month. So I was apparently did well enough to do that. So it's awesome. Otherwise you can follow a lot of stuff at Sioux Falls Comedy on the Instagram and Facebook and whatnot. And then of course I have all my social media stuff. You know, I'm trying to be a little more active about that and putting some stuff out there. And I don't know, as I keep booking some more stuff and try to figure out my crazy life, I still try to balance it with being a good dad and stuff and not abandon my kids to chase my dreams. So I want them to do both. But I'm trying to, I've actually got the privilege of having to decline stuff now because because I just haven't had the time. But it's really, I appreciate everything. I appreciate everybody sending out all the support and stuff. Independent people that are trying to be authentic and do their own shit. And, I think that's the biggest part. And yeah, just go out and say yes, do something new. Try something new, talk to somebody new. That's how people are. I mean,
That's a great message.
You gotta learn from each other and just do something cool. So I appreciate what you guys are doing here, and you are bringing something authentic to the city and the region. And like I said, I believe in it, and I'll be forever a proponent. So
awesome.
You guys do your thing. And thanks again for having me on, Cham. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming back. Like that, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I was like, fuck, I dropped the ball. So I appreciate you coming
Shit
back.
happens, dude.
Hey,
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, let me just do the outro, I guess. Thank you guys for tuning in again. I guess we didn't even do a sponsor spot. Whatever. This video is brought to you by you guys. Thanks for the support. Love y'all. Tune in next week for another podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cole.
Thanks, Jim.